Good afternoon. My name is Samantha Baldelamar, a Dean's Ambassador for the UCR School of Public Policy. It is my pleasure to introduce our panel today. The Inland Coalition for Immigrant Justice is composed of over 35 organizations that serve the immigrant community in the Inland Empire. The IC4IJ currently focuses on advocacy, changing the narrative, and capacity building. The coalition engages in policy advocacy, community organizing and education, and rapid response to ICE and Border Patrol operations. Legislative victories include advocating for the passage of the California Trust Act, which limits cooperation between immigration and customs enforcement and local law enforcement, as well as supporting immigrant youth in their fight for DACA, an executive action that protects immigrant youth from deportation. They supported the statewide push for driver's licenses for all, which has provided over 1 million driver's licenses to undocumented Californians. More recently, they successfully advocated for the passage of a series of laws that would protect immigrants under the new federal administration, including the California Values Act. Please join me in welcoming our panel participant, Elsa Hernandez.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elsa Hernandez. Thank you all for allowing me to be at your space, and also thank you for being here. So today we have a I Know Your Rights and a rapid response presentation that I want to share with all of you. So if we get started. Today for our agenda, we're gonna go over immigration enforcement, know your rights, about the hotline, and about the network. Who we are. We are IC4IJ. We're a coalition of over 35 organizations to serve the immigrant community in the Inland Empire through policy advocacy, community organizing, and education to rapid response to ICE and Border Patrol operations. We are collectively changing the narrative of the 1 million immigrants who live, thrive, and are a fundamental part of the fabric in the Inland Empire. We are building organizational capacity through leadership development, cooperation support networks, and shared regional strategies. Keep in mind that this presentation is not legal advice, it's for educational purposes only. If you have a question about a case, you have to consult with an attorney for any specific case questions. The rights in this presentation is for anyone, regardless of their status. If you decide to exercise your rights, it does not guarantee you that you will not be detained. However, it has worked in many cases. If you witness immigration enforcement in your community, you can call our hotline at 909-361-4588. We're going to talk about the Department of Homeland Security, which was established in the year 2002 to protect the homeland. Under this department, we have 4 other agencies: USCIS, U.S. Citizen Immigration Services, Immigration Customs Enforcement, known as ICE, Customs Border Protection, CBP, and Transportation Security Administration, TSA. We're going to focus more today on ICE and CBP, but I'm going to go over each agency. USCIS, it's if you are going to submit an application, you're going to, for your work permit, change of status, apply for a visa, etc. Any application you want to submit is going to be sent to this agency. It's very important that before you submit any application to USCIS, speak to an attorney or a legal representative about your risks. Why is that? Because if you send your application and your application gets denied, USCIS will be informing ICE that your application got denied, or if you don't have a status. So then ICE is going to have that information on you. Then we have, so as you all know, ICE is the agents that we all see right now in the news, just randomly getting people in the streets. Then we have CBP, which is Customs and Border Protection. Customs and Border Protection, we see them at ports of entry, international airports, and on borders. Then we have TSA, Transportation Security Administration. Whoever has travel knows that these agents are there to check on your ID and checking your baggage. Customs and Border Protection and Border Patrol. Customs, like I mentioned, they are at borders, ports of entry, and international airports. If you've gone to the airport, you possibly seen this vehicle. It's the white and blue one. That's customs. Their uniforms are the white and blue one, the blue uniform with the white badge. Border Patrol, their vehicle is similar to it, with the difference that the line is green, and then the agents are wearing green as well. They can take biometrics and fingerprints, like fingerprints. Border Patrol claims to have authority within 100 miles of the border, but as we know, they don't just be within those 100 miles, they pass those miles. So for that same reason, we see them all over the IE. We get calls of people calling and saying, hey, I saw them in San Bernardino, or I saw them in the Riverside or on the 60 freeway, because since they have that authority to be within 100 miles, we see them. But like I mentioned, they don't respect those 100 miles and they overpass those miles. The way Border Patrol works is that Border Patrol racially profiles people. Since they can be roaming around, it makes it easy for them to just stop anyone. People that we see that are at risk are workers. Those are the ones that are targeted the most. Workers that have gardening trucks, construction trucks. So those are the persons that are more at risk. They have stations like in Murrieta, Indio, and Temecula. They can temporarily hold them for up to 73 hours in those stations and can process them for deportation as well. Yes. I mean, they shouldn't, but at this point, like, they know that they're not, like, the government knows that they're overpassing, but they haven't done nothing yet. Yeah, so for example, a few months ago, you wouldn't really see them, like, they usually pass with like what, 30 miles more, but what we recently saw a few months ago is when the first time they hit Pomona. That's like way far. So as soon as they started doing that, now to them, that's something normal now. Pomona has gotten hit many times. So to them, it's like, even though they're not supposed to, they're still doing it. Now we're gonna talk about ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement. They enforce immigration laws all over the US. Like the Department of Homeland Security has other branches, ICE also has other branches. For example, ERO, HSI, OPLA. That's why whenever there's a raid and people go and document and they say, oh, there was ICE, but there was also another agency that said ERO. ERO is also part of ICE. It's Immigration Removal Orders or Removal Operations. And then we have HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, and OPLA is basically like a lawyer for ICE. The way these agents work is that they rely on surveillance and data from USCIS, like I mentioned on the first slide, that if you submit an application, if it gets denied, they will have access to this information. So they have it from the USCIS, criminal databases, and they target specific people with removal orders. That changed as well. That used to be a few months ago that ICE, we would know that ICE will go specifically for people that had deportation orders. Now, ICE is also working the same as Border Patrol. They racially profile people. Just because they see someone selling fruits, they already know, they think that, oh, this person doesn't have a status here, and they take them and arrest them. ICE agents in our marked cars stop vehicles. They are carrying non-citizens. So if they're surveilling you for weeks, for days, and they decide to follow you, if that day they stop you, they can stop you on your vehicle. Or if they're just in the street and they just see your car and they see you with someone that they might think doesn't have documents, they'll stop you as well. ICE has no authority to stop traffic violations, but they will stop people on the road. So ICE cannot stop you and say, hey, I stopped you because you were speeding or because you passed the red light. They don't have, they cannot enforce traffic laws. However, they can stop you on the side of the road. We see this constantly when people call our hotline saying, hey, they stopped my dad as he was driving to work. A red light was there and they just used their opportunity. ICE agents lies, so they lie a lot, so they're gonna wanna come to you with any excuse. They can do collateral arrest and joint task forces. Collateral arrest means if they're looking for a specific someone, for example, they're looking for Mario, that day they decide to follow him, and that day Mario is with his cousin, and when they stop the vehicle or they stop him in the street, if Mario is with someone that also doesn't have a status, they're also at risk of being detained. They can do joint task forces, which means they can work with federal agencies. For example, they're working with FBI, and they can also work with other agencies as well. ICE agents can do arrests at home, streets, and workplaces. And then here it says in the bottom, it says ICE can be present in sensitive locations, but it's not common in California. That used to be a few months ago. We wouldn't see here in California, we would see it in other states that ICE agents will go inside schools. Sensitive locations mean schools, churches, and hospitals. But now, unfortunately, we're seeing those changes. Now, ICE here in California, they try to go in a hospital, in a clinic, in churches, and even in schools. Here we have CBP. We mentioned that there are in borders, ports of entries, and international airports. These vehicles that we see on top that says CBP, the bottom one that says Federal Protective Services, a lot of people confuse this vehicle because they have the same color, white and blue lines, with the difference at the bottom one that says police. This vehicle is basically a security guard for federal buildings. So if there's a court nearby and you see it, they're like taking care of the building. However, they cannot enforce immigration laws in the fact that they cannot get you and detain you. As the moment, we haven't seen that. But as you guys know, things are changing. We don't know if in the future that's going to change and they're going to start arresting people. But as of now, this vehicle is just a security guard for those buildings. Then we have Border Patrol, the one we said that they claim to have authority within 100 miles of the border. A lot of people call our hotline and they think that the bottom vehicle, the USDA vehicle, they think it's Border Patrol because it's also green. The it's the US Department of Agriculture. It's basically like a park ranger as well as security for national parks, rivers, and lakes. They also do not enforce immigration laws. So just so you guys know the differences, let's go to the other slide. Common non-immigration agencies, people call our hotline scared, thinking, oh, ISIS outside of the market. Sheriff is not part of immigration. Corporation is not part of immigration as well. And the US Department of Agriculture vehicle is also not part of immigration. How to identify immigration authorities? Their vest will say police ICE, CBP, Homeland Security, HSI. Like I mentioned, they can also work with other federal agencies, for example, the DEA and the FBI, etc. Nowadays, ICE agents don't have to have uniforms in order for you to identify them. If you go out in the street, they can be wearing civilian clothing and maybe just a vest that either says ICE, HSI, ERO. Their vehicles most of the time are tinted, dark windows, no license plates, front or back, lights inside the sun visor area. But not just those vehicles. Right now, they're also using regular civilian vehicles. So you can be on the street and see a vehicle that's a Nissan, maybe has the license plates and it's not even tinted, and it can be also a ICE agent. So we've been noticing all those patterns that, most of the time before we would just get, unmarked vehicles. Now, civilian vehicles as well. Your rights are fundamental. Constitutional rights. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to speak with an attorney before signing anything. And you have the right to refuse any searches without a judicial warrant. You have the right to keep your door closed at home and refuse consent for immigration to enter your home. And you have the right to document and video recording. These rights are for everyone, regardless of their status. Here we have Know Your Rights at Home. it's very important to know that if you're at home in the streets, you have rights. The same rights apply to you in the street, the same rights apply to you in your car, and also at home. If ICE comes to your home, leave the door locked and closed. Do not open the door. If ICE wants to come in, ask them to leave. Do not give ICE any information. Do not sign any documents that ICE wants to give you without speaking to an attorney. Do not even open the door. And if you're at home, do not leave sensitive documents in view. If you're at home and you came from the store and you left your ID right in front of the window and your ID says Mexican consulate, if ICE comes, they're gonna see that. You don't wanna have that there. You wanna put it away. So you have the right to film and document and in writing as soon as possible. So it's very important. If you're in the street, you know that if ICE agents want to violate your rights with a video recording, you can have proofs what they did, that they violated your rights. Here we have this order. Right here we have, it's called Kid versus No. This is an order signed by a judge. IC4IJ was plaintiff on this, and they sued. So what this does is basically a protection at your home. Like we mentioned before, what protects you outside when ICE agents come? A protection could be witnesses or a video recording. But at home, if you're sleeping at home and they used to come at example at 3 a.m. and they get you out, who's gonna see that? Everyone's sleeping. So you didn't have any witnesses, you don't have any proofs. So what this order does is that it protects you at your home, which means ICE agents are not allowed to come inside your home without a judicial warrant. And this also is not just for like inside your home, but if your house is the curtilage of your home, so if your house is surrounded by a gate or a fence, they have to stay out. They cannot be inside. There's homes that, for example, my house, anyone can go straight to the door. I don't have a gate, so anyone can go, but they still cannot go inside my house. But if you have a gate or a fence, they have to stay. Because of this order, we haven't seen right now ICE agents coming and taking people from their houses. We've seen that they're waiting for them in the corner of their home or maybe across the street. But if y'all know of anyone that, that they went to their house and took them out without a judicial warrant, contact IC4IJ. Here we have the judicial warrant and an administrative warrant. What these warrants do is that the one that is valid is the one that it's issued by a court and signed by a judge. If ICE agents want to go inside your home, they need to have that warrant in order for them to go and search you. If they don't have that warrant, they're not supposed to go in. Like we mentioned, if an ICE agent comes to your house and tells you open the door, do not open the door. You have the right to not open it. You have the right to remain silent. You can say, I don't want to open the door. If they're saying, hey, I have an order, if they really want you to see it, they can slide it under the door. But you don't open the door and say, okay, don't believe them because they're saying they have it, and say, okay, I'm going to open the door a little bit and then you hand it to me. The moment that you try to do that, they're going to consider that as consent and they're going to obviously knock down your door. If there's a window, don't open it. They're going to crack it or break it, I'm sorry, and try to go in. So any little things like that is going to give them consent to do it. So it's better if to just say, you know what? No. If you really do have it, slide it under the door. And something that we say is that if they really do have it, they're not going to be begging you to open the door. The moment that they tell you, hey, I have a warrant, and you say, I'm not going to open the door, they're going to break down your door regardless. And they'll have the right to do so because they have that order signed by a judge and issued by the court. The administrative warrant is a warrant that the agents themselves make. So if you can see there, they could just basically maybe just even scribble it, and they can come to your door and say, hey, I have this paper. Since you're not able to see it, you're going to be scared and open. So something we say is know the difference of the judicial warrant and the administrative warrant, especially for a person that is at home alone, that doesn't speak English. If they're scared, as soon as they come to your door and say open, and they should see a paper, they're obviously going to get scared. But it's important to know the differences, that in order for it to be valid, issued by a court, signed by a judge. Do not carry fake documents. Do not carry foreign documents with your country of origin. Example, matricula from Mexico, your passport from Guatemala, Salvador, Honduras. Don't carry that. If an ICE agent stops you and say, show me your ID, do not show those identifications. Why is that? That makes the deportation process so much easier for them. When they go to court, they say, hey, we got them. They are not legal in this country. So you don't want to use that. You don't want to give that information. Do not give the information to the agent about your country of origin or your address. If an agent comes at a grocery store and says, okay, Mexicans go on this side, Salvadorans on that side, and Guatemalans on that side, stay where you are. The moment that you say, okay, I'm going to go to the Mexican side because I'm Mexico, or because I'm from Salvador, they'll be like, okay, you're basically turning yourself in, giving that information. Yes. He said that all Latino, we are so proud to say where we are, that automatically it's easy way for them to take you back home. So don't say, I'm from Bolivia and I'm from Argentina. No, you are not from nothing. Yeah, thank you. And the fact that you don't say, oh, I'm not Mexican or I'm not Salvadorian, or it's not going to keep you from not being arrested. They're still going to arrest you. However, that's going to help you. That can help you in court, especially if they violated your rights. So another thing is, do not run. The moment that you run when you see ICE, they know that, this person doesn't have a status and they'll go after them. And then it can get worse on your case because they can press charges, extra charges for running away and stuff like that. For a person that's there witnessing an arrest, do not intervene in an arrest. You intervening in an arrest will get you arrested. If you want to record, you have the right to do so. You have right to do so. If you want to record and you get close to them and the agent tells you, hey, step back, okay, record your feet and step back so that everything stays video recording and you're allowed to tell them, I'm allowed to record and I'm complying with what you just told me to step back. So I know many times, if we were to witness this, we would get upset and want to do something, but it's best to not do anything. The best thing how you can help the person is by documenting. If they ask you for an ID, you have the right to not show it if you don't want. However, if you don't show your ID, denying your ID puts you at risk of also being detained. If you want to show an ID, recommended IDs will be your California ID, your US passport, your work permit, and your green card. Always carry your green card. I've heard many people say, okay, so if I'm from Mexico and I have my Mexican consulate and I'm not supposed to carry that with me in case ICE gets me, but they say, what if something happens to me in the street? I want them to at least know who I am. How will they know my name? So we recommend, a tip would be carry a membership card. A membership card from Sam's, a gym card that has your name, your library card, your school ID, it doesn't say your country of origin or anything. So those is what you can use. Sorry. Okay, now that we went over the know your rights part, we're gonna go over our rapid response. Okay, so feel free to take a picture. Feel free to get this number, save it down on your contacts. This is our hotline number. This is where everyone calls to report immigration activity in the community. If you witness an arrest, if you're in the grocery store and you see a suspicious vehicle that possibly can be ICE, you can call our hotline. You can send pictures, send text messages, and say, hey, I'm here in Riverside. I'm in this street and this other street in the Cardenas parking lot, and I see suspicious vehicles. If you have the picture, that's even better. Send the pictures. We have volunteers that go out and verify this information for us. So you cannot just only call, but also send text messages as well. So the IE Rapid Response Network, known as the Emergency Response Network, in response to a wave of Border Patrol raids in 2008 and 2009. This network was formed, made up by organizations, legal representatives, and volunteers that quickly mobilized to support individuals facing detention by deportation, ICE, or CBP in the Inland Empire. Resources that our hotline offer was in 2016, we responded to increase of ICE enforcements at homes by doing Know Your Rights. The year 2019, the network mobilized to help families who were dropped off by Border Patrol in the city of San Bernardino. Over 500 individuals were helped by us by providing shelter, food, and also reuniting them with their families. In 2020, the network responded to the needs of the community. Because of COVID-19, we gave the undocumented community $1 million and provided them with resources. What is our hotline? What does our hotline do? Our hotline is for any concerned community member to call or report ICE CBP activity and even law enforcement. A lot of people call because they see police and they're scared that, they might call ICE, so they let us know and say, hey, ICE, there's a lot of police activity. So not just ICE and Border Patrol, but they also call for police activity. It is not a general information line. However, we get calls of everything, not just to report. A lot of people call for anything. Hey, do you know that if a place that they wash carpets for really cheap? So we obviously help them if we have contacts. Yes. I were up there and I saw something like that, I'd be able to call this number and you guys relate the information to that area? So Kern County has a different rapid response. Our hotline covers Riverside counties, San Bernardino counties, and even though Pomona is part of LA County, we do Pomona as well. So in case you were to be in Kern County, you can obviously call our hotline and report. But what we could do is we could give you the number for Kern County so you could let them know. Because we're really far from there, we won't be able to send someone out. So anyone can call to report a raid, and even if it's a rumor. We have dispatchers on the line, and their roles are to answer phone calls, return calls, to guide community members through their rights, sending out responder alerts, and referring community members to resources. Types of calls that we get: someone got arrested outside of court, someone got arrested that day in the street, maybe a few days ago, rumors about ICE or Border Patrol presence, someone traveling through the 60 freeway wanting to know, hey, do you know if there's ICE? People think because we have this hotline, they think we know exactly where ICE is, and unfortunately, we don't. But if there's obviously a report in Riverside and if they live in Riverside, they say, hey, I live in Riverside and I want to go to the store. Do you know if any activity has happened? If we have anything reported during that day, we obviously let them know. And we let them know, they're gone, but still be cautious. People calling saying that ICE is outside their door. People calling to confirm the number, saying, hey, I saw this number on TV and I just want to know what the number is about. People wanting to volunteer, they call or text the hotline. And asking general questions as well, and help for legal services. So they don't just call only if they see activity of ICE, but also if they witness an arrest, they call to let us know that they saw ICE at this location. And then if at many times a car is left behind, we let our comms team know, and then they post it on our Instagram, and that's how we can also reach out to the families. What is the process of rapid response? The community calls the number or texts the number. Our dispatchers create incident reports, getting all the information of the location, the number of agents, the activity that they're doing. If we need to send someone out, we send someone out. Our responders that are in our dashboard will get an alert by text message saying, this is the location that, this is happening. Whoever is able to go would say, on my way, with an estimated time of arrival. And then once they get there, They check it out to verify if it's actually ICE or not. These volunteers are trained. They know what to do. In this case, if they say ICE was there, if they get there and ICE was not there, they know to look around the area, talk to businesses, pass out red cards, give out posters of private property if there's businesses. And then our goal as dispatchers is to guide the community members, giving them their rights, giving them advice. Many times, if they're at the location hiding, they want to stay with someone on the phone while someone comes, or sometimes they just call and hang up. What do I mean by first responders and our legal observers? These volunteers are on call to respond to situations where there is risk of ICE, CBP raids, or detainments. When a raid is reported, our rapid responders quickly mobilize to show up at the scene, document the event, take detailed notes, and they also provide support to the families who may be affected by these actions by offering them resources and know your rights information. What if someone got detained? If you know a family member that got detained, or a friend, her brother got detained, or anyone, you can use these locators to find them. Feel free to take a picture. The locator ice.gov, you can easily find them by using their date of birth, name, last name, nationality. If they haven't already have an open case with immigration, if they submitted paperwork for visa or anything, they should have an 8 number. So with the 8 number, you can easily locate them on the ICE locator just by putting the 8 number and the country of origin. You can also call your consulate office as well, and they should be able to help you. We have referral contact list at our office. You guys can call the hotline, and we can also refer y'all. So feel free to take a picture. And many times people don't know how to use this. They can also call our hotline and we can help them as well. If you would like to be part of a rapid response network, if you would like to, you have free time that you say, hey, you know what, I would like to help out. I would like to do something for the community. We are currently looking for dispatchers to help answer the phone calls. Our hotline, we want it to be staffed 24/7. Unfortunately, there's times that it's a little hard. So, we do want dispatchers to be early morning, starting 5 a.m. We have people till 10 p.m. So if you're interested or know of anyone that would like to be part of this, you can reach out to me by emailing me at IC4IJ.org or calling or texting the hotline. If you don't want to be a dispatcher, you can be a legal observer, a first responder. If you drive, if you are on campus, or you walk a lot, and if you want to be part of a volunteer being a legal observer, whenever you get a message, you're trained to be a legal observer. If you get a message, an alert that ICE is in the area, you can go document, take pictures, let us know to confirm if it's ICE or not, so that we can let the community member know if it is or not. Because now, so many rumors, a lot of people just scaring others, posting fake stuff on Instagram, and just, scaring the community. So to be a dispatcher, you could do it remotely. You could do it at your home. You could do it at school, wherever you want. You don't have to be in our office. You could do it from home. And then for legal observers, you'll basically go based on if you get the alert. You guys will be added to the dashboard. And if there's using your zip code, the zip code where you are. So if we get an alert here in Riverside and your zip code is in Riverside, if you're within 5 miles of where the incident is happening, you would get the message. And then if you're able to go and respond, you will let us know. So any questions? And thank you all for hearing the presentation. Good, no questions? Okay, I'll pass it on to you. Thank you all.
Thank you all so much for joining us. At this point, I'll invite you all back to Hub 302 for the remainder of the conference. There will be free boba for attendees. And while we're here, I encourage you all to fill out the QR code to get your free Persist t-shirt at registration. If you need the QR code, feel free to let me know. I have it on my phone. Thank you all so much.
But usually you can find on Google Chima. I mean, it would be good.
Yeah, me and my family had a experience in March. It was looking definitely wanting to.
My husband works in my buddy too.
Oh, really?
So we used to live there, but I
Okay.
recently moved down here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was like, I knew everything was happening.
Yeah.
To let him know.
Yeah, because it tends, I
Inspiring.
live in San Fernando City and it's like they're always like right that coming from like almost daily that we get those messages.
Right.
It's spotted here. There's actually pictures of this. And
Yeah.
yeah.
My husband works
Right.
there, but nice.
Okay,
So
so
it's
not far at all.
yeah,
I know, my mom, I applied for my mom for her visa right when I turned 21 and after like 9 years of waiting, we got our appointment in March of this year. And they told us too that we're like, you guys have the perfect place, your husband's a US citizen, my daughter's a US citizen. Well, we went to, they had to have her go to Mexico. So there. They denied the place. So it was like, months,
So I don't know
like,
idea.
and, like trying to reopen it.
I
Luckily, the
administered
attorney
that
got
process
one they helped us
completely,
out,
but
but it was scary. So I'm like, okay, I want to figure out.
before the end of this year.
I will go ahead and do that, and then I'll email you and let you know.
I'll actually. Yes, of course, please do. She's very busy, that woman. I even actually asked her if she could support me in my union work, but she's so busy. But anyways, so yeah, dude, of course, be please, yeah. Yeah, of course. And then, your name is Elsa? Elsa, nice to meet you. I'm Shayla. I'm a PhD student here at UCR. I'm in the. Yeah, of course, sure. So I'm curious because I haven't spoken to IC4IJ like various times in the past, and I've actually even attended some of their meetings with some of the members themselves. But I'm curious as to like what your role is specifically in the organization and what I know that I feel like I've seen this before, but actually I learned some stuff especially the differences between requirements. But anyways, yeah, I'm curious to know like what's your role in the organization?
I'm the reverse coordinator. So I
Okay.
coordinate the hotline, where someone that treats the volunteer, where, if there's ever,
maybe, are you going to say? Okay, yeah, because I just like, I do want to get more involved, like, first the volunteer work, yes, but like also just like working specifically with the community of the members themselves, like how often do they meet, like, do they go to IC4IJ, like, do they, like, are they involved in the work of themselves, like?
Yeah, it depends what, like, what area you want to go with, for example, policy, we tell us that. Policy and then, we have to recite. But me is different, because I feel like, we're gonna say that I want to go,
Okay, and then do you guys have like a pamphlet, because I'm actually curious to know like what specifically
I
the
don't
policy.
have specifically, but you can, I think if you go to our website.
Yeah. Do you have a card, like a business card?
Yeah, I have. That's mine.
Awesome, sounds good.
And I can give you the office number as well.
This is your
That's my
number.
personal number.
Okay. Oh, this is your personal.
Yeah, for the office, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah,
All
if
right.
you wanna get connected with other else on my team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
For example, we have the outreach coordinator,
Mhm.
but that was outreach committee, sometimes we volunteers to help with table
Yeah.
or with events,
Yeah.
that would be her.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, that's really. Are you staying for the rest of the conference, or are you thinking about leaving?
No, I think well, because I have to take a call with it.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, we have 2:30 to 4 at all. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Chris. Sorry, I thought that